for joining me today. I have here 2 pairs of jeans I need to make a little bit shorter. So this is going to be quite a quick and easy film. So let's get on with it. It's usually a chain stitch. If I can work out where the end is, so that goes that way. So I'm going to pull that. The trick is if you can undo one of those and pull it, you should be able to pull the whole thing out. Now, let's see what happens here. It takes a little while to get started as you're pulling things, is my experience. Doesn't want to come out by the looks of it. Let's have a look here. Can't go the other way. Sometimes these come out really well and sometimes they don't. Looks like there's 2 pieces of thread going on. I think maybe it's because it's such a tight stitch, it just doesn't want to come out. That might be it. I don't know. You should be able to pull it and it should just undo, but for whatever reason, look, there we go. Just took some undoing. So as I say, with a chain stitch you should be able to just pull one thread and it all comes undone like that. It does save a lot of time. It just sometimes takes a little bit of a go to get them started, and then they knot up a little bit further around, so you just got to work it out from there. And I'll pull the other side out too. There we go. I'll get the rest of this out and I'll work on the other pair of trousers. Iron these hems flat because it's a lot easier to measure them. It's going to take me a little minute to do all 4 trouser legs, but it makes life a lot easier. Sometimes a little bit extra time doing things that don't seem that important is a good idea. While I do each one, I'm going to measure down the inside leg. She said she used to wear men's trousers that were 30-inch in length of the leg. So I'm just going to put a pin on the inside of each trouser leg at 30 inches, and then I'll come back and do what I need to. So I've just folded up the inside leg to my pin, just over 2.5 inches. I think if I make it 2.5 inches, it's a nice round number. So I'm going to measure from here. I'm just going to press that in like that, and I'm going to move it to the center here. Measure down 2.5 inches. You'll find that if you measure long lengths, the base of the trousers stays more even. Then I'm going to measure into this side 2.5 inches like that, and again all the way across. And then I'll do the same on the other side of this trouser leg. Measure into the center here, my 2.5 inches there. I go from here all the way across. Looks a little bit uppy downy. So I think that's the commercial side. The trouser legs should have been cut even at the bottom, and that's just the way they were put in. Having done that, I'm going to cut off. Let's have a look. How far was that? That was 1 inch. I'm going to cut off 1.5 inches. I'm actually going to do it from the inside, which means I'm going to pop this down here on the bottom there and then cut to my inch mark all the way round, and then I know that it is from the hem up that I'm working from. Sometimes I cut them from the inside like this, and sometimes I cut them from the outside, but because I want it to be as close to 1 inch all the way round, that's why I'm doing it from the inside. And I don't want to follow the existing fold because that seems to go up and down. And when you've got trousers that are too long, the fact that they go up and down isn't too much of a problem, but if you're shortening them, it sometimes is more obvious. And I'll do exactly the same on the other trouser leg. I got carried away. I did one leg, folded it up, ironed it up, cut it back without doing the other one. This is why you always do both parts of the leg and then go back and do the other. So that's actually 3.25 inches off the bottom. So I'm going to measure this one 3.25 inches up. I was thinking of other things when I was doing this. So let's pull that down. And these ones I'm not going to do to halfway along because they're slightly rounded. So I'm going to press there, come round 1/3 of the way. They're quite full at the bottom, and I'm going to iron from that point back to where I started and twist them, and I'm going to go a third of the way along again like this and iron that into position as well. It just keeps the bottom of the jeans in shape than if they are a straighter leg. Go there into there, and then I'll do the other side of the leg to make sure that that's even too and maintains the rounded look. You will notice that these are actually quite uneven, and the reason is these are made by people that don't earn a huge amount of money, and therefore when they do the trouser legs they just pull the leg open and flat and make it go in. They don't have time to do what I'm doing. They'll just measure it up and go. They might be paid by how many pairs of jeans they can put out. They're not interested in making everything even. See, it's going to look uneven here. Yeah, so I cut to 2 inches. I'm going to cut above. I'm going to place this here and bring that down, and I'm going to cut to 2 inches all the way around and finish it up. Now I'm going to fold this over 1/2 inch, and I'll do that all the way around, little sections, because I want it to be as even as possible and slightly rounded. I'll finish up the rest of this. The jeans that I measured up a short while ago, I've actually got to measure up again because my friend said that she needed them 30 inches long and she actually only needs them 27.5. But that's okay, at least I hadn't sewn them. Because I'm putting a deeper hem on these, I'm just going to pin these into position. You can see how awfully up and down they were. I should be able to even these out without too much of a problem. So long as the side seams are in line, that's all I worry about, because those are something I really can't change very much. But with the shaping of the bottom and how I've done it, that looks a lot better than they had been done. And I'll do this with the other leg, and I'll re-shorten the first pair that I cut down. Just as well, she's a friend. These things happen. Now I know that the bottom of these is straighter because I cut them. So basically the new length is going to be to here where that pin is, and I want 1 inch in the hem, so that takes it to 2.5. I am going to cut off 2.5 inches all the way around and then measure up 1 inch to get these done. So this won't take a minute to cut round. I'm only doing the top layer at the moment. I've just opened that up and I will make my way across the bottom here exactly the same way. Then I will do the same with the second leg. I am just going to measure up 1 inch like that. Nice thing about natural cottons is you can leave your heat on there and it's not going to do very much. Move my measure across and then press that in, and I'm going to work my way around both of these trouser legs. These are the jeans that I'm only putting 1 inch in the hem, so I'm going to turn that over like that. I can't put it straight under here because it's not going to want to go. I always start on the inside leg seam, so if there's any discrepancy it's right there and hidden. I'm going to run the outside of the foot against the fold of the hem to keep the hem even. I'm going to keep that as even as I can. If anything, I'll pull the fabric underneath so that the fabric on top, which is slightly wider, won't twist. And I'll make my way to the second seam. It's stretchy fabric, so I actually don't want to stretch any of it if I can help it. And I keep my finger pushing the hem back so it stays in place. I'm a little way out from here. Fold that over like that, up and in, so that it's not too bulky. Make sure my seams are running even and sew into here. Keep everything even and straight. It's a little bit brighter than on the side, but I don't have anything that is comparable. Pop this over. See if we can go over this. Might need to help it slightly. There we go. And then on round. It's really pushing everything into place that takes the time. And here at this seam, I don't think it's going to want to go in very well, but we'll work it out. And then down this side, pull those threads down so they're out of the way. I've just come over the seam here, and now I'm going to line up so I can sew over these stitches for about an inch. That'll hold everything in place. So that's what it looks like. It's nice and even all the way around. Now I'll do the other leg and then the other pair of trousers. Now these trousers, as you can see, are quite pale where they've been folded, and they're marked where the original stitching was and the bottom of the inside hem. I can't do very much about that. What I did do was make the new hem come to about and as evenly as possible to that top mark. I might have to change the walking foot out if I don't think it's going to go in very well. And I'm starting just this side of the inside seam here, and I'm going to sew this into position. Now I ended up changing the foot out. I think this one might work. I'm running the top end of the hem along the inside of this. I'll see whether that works. If not, I'll change it back for the walking foot. And I think I can guide it better because I can get my fingers a lot closer than I can with the walking foot. And I'm just going to work my way around. I can see it kind of wrinkling. I need to straighten that out. Let's do this. I'm not pushing it to make pleats, I'm just pushing it to hold it. Sometimes we have to use any method we can to get the results that we want. Coming into the side seam, I'm going to put this part over and then fold that down. Also going to line the side seams up and carry on stitching to that point. Now let's see if we can get over here and then over the top here and down the other side, and I'll work my way on around here. Just going to make sure that this is in line and push this through. This kind of works like a walking foot because I'm just pushing everything under as I go. Now I can't fold this seam over, but it is in line, and I'm going to sew over about an inch or two of my beginning hem, and I'll do exactly the same on the other leg of this pair of trousers. Thank you for joining me on this project. The first set of jeans, which I ended up having to shorten twice because she gave me the wrong measurement, have gone in okay. Once they've been washed and ironed a few times, any rippling should disappear and they'll be quite even. The second pair of jeans, which I did, the hem was so uneven that there was no way I was going to put the gold stitching where it had been, because it would have been very obviously wrong. But most of the stitching has actually gone in the dark area where the original stitching was, and that's why I made this part, the decorative part at the bottom, a little bit narrower than had been done before, in order to hide that. Otherwise we'd have a new hemline further up, which would look really, really ridiculous. She's going to be very pleased to get these because she goes back to college, I think it's Tuesday, so she has 2 pairs of new jeans to wear. If you want to hear more from me, please subscribe, hit the bell button, and a few thumbs up would be brilliant. And in the meantime, take care, see you later, ciao.